Hello and welcome to this session. In the previous session, we learned about different data types supported by the Python programming language. We also used some basic operators to perform arithmetic as well as logical operation. In this session, we'll cover comparison operators, conditional statements, loops, and control statement. So let's start. We'll discuss comparison operators first. These operators will be used in flow control and conditional statements very often. The first operator is greater than operator. Let's understand this with the help of an example. We'll assign the value 10 to a variable x using the assignment operator, which is a single equal to sign. And we will assign the value 17 to a variable y. Let's write print x greater than y and run our code. So as you can see that the result is false because 10 is not greater than 17. Now in another print statement, in place of greater than operator, we'll place the less than operator and check the result. So let's write print x less than y and run our code. As you can see that the result is true because 10 is less than 17. Let's declare another variable named z, which will also hold the value 10. We'll use the equality operator to check if z is equivalent to x and if z is equivalent to y. The equal to operator has two equal to signs. Do not confuse this with the assignment operator, which is a single equal to sign. The assignment operator assigns a specific value to a variable, whereas the equality operator checks if the operands are equal to each other. So let's write print z double equal to x and run it. You can see that the result is true because value of z and value of x are same. Let's write print z double equal to y and run it. You can see that the result is false because value of z and value of y are different. So we have seen three operators till now: greater than, less than, and equality operator. There are other three comparison operators: not equal to, which is written as an exclamation sign followed by an equal sign. Operators such as greater than, equal to, and less than equal to are also available. You can try this on your own. Again, operator precedence should be taken care of when using multiple operators within one statement without parentheses to separate the operations. You can check the operator precedence in the Python documentation. For example, if you are performing an arithmetic operation where x is added with y and then multiplied with z, you must practice to write it as x plus y in a single bracket, then multiplied by z, and enclosing this complete expression in bracket. This will give you a result 270, whereas if you write it like x plus y multiplied by z, it will result in 180. I hope you have understand this difference. You may practice some operations on your own to get familiar with it. So let's move further and discuss about conditional statement. One of the most commonly used conditional statement are if, elif, else statement. These are used in case where a decision making is required, when certain action should take place when specific conditions are met. The syntax for this is if test expression colon followed by one or many statements which will be in the indented block. Let's see this with the help of an example. We will declare a variable named var1 whose value can be chosen and changed by you. For now, I will assign it with integer 5. Now we want Python to check and then tell us by printing that the number is positive or the number is negative or the number is 0. So let's write a piece of code like this. If var1 greater than 0 colon indent print number is positive, unindent elif var1 less than 0 colon indent print number is negative, else colon indent print number is 0. Let's run this. We can see that it has printed that the number is positive. Instead of using else as the last condition, you may also write it like elif var1 double equal to 0 colon. This way the condition will be checked before printing the result. There are use case of elif and else depending on the application. Now you can change the value of var1, run the code again and check the result for different values. Also note that indentation is very important. Any statement written under one statement must be indented to fall under that conditional statement. You can add multiple statement or operation under one condition. Unlike other languages like C and C++, curly braces are not used in Python. Instead, the code is indented. Now let's see ternary operators. Let's say var1 equal to 5 and var2 equal to 10. Now we want to write the minimum of these two to another variable called minimum. We can do this with the help of ternary operator by writing minimum equal to var1 if var1 is less than var2, else var2, and then print minimum. I hope you have understood the concept of conditional statement. You can try some logics on your own for practice. Let's go further and discuss about loops. Loops are very commonly used in real work Python programs. Loops make our code convenient, short and hassle-free. Let's say that you want to print digit from 1 to 100. One way is to print each digit individually. This way, you will have to write 100 different print statements with the digits as their parameters. Is it convenient? No. So we can solve this problem using loops. We can also implement different concepts like arithmetic operation, logical operation, conditional statements within these loops. Let's see with an example of a type of loop which is called while loop. As the name suggests, this loop will run while some condition is met. Let's define a variable I and assign it value 1 by writing I equal to 1. Now let's write our loop and its condition. Since we want to print integers up to 100, we'll write while I is less than or equal to 100 colon indent print I plus equal to 1, which is equivalent to writing I equal to I plus 1. Unindent print series printed. Now let's run our code. So you can see that the 100 digits have been printed. Suppose if you want to print only the odd number, instead of writing I plus equal to 1, you can write I plus equal to 2. So only the odd numbers are printed in the series. You see how convenient is this? This is used in various applications where a certain task needs to be repeated various times while a condition is met. We can also use a control statement called break to exit this loop in between in case any needed condition is met in middle of the loop. You can refer to the example in my downloadable notebook of this session. Let's move forward and discuss another type of loop which is called for loop. A for loop is used for iterating over a sequence that is either a list, a tuple, a dictionary, a set, or a string. With the for loop, we can execute a set of statements once for each item in a list, tuple, set, etc. Loop continues until we reach the last item in the sequence. The body of for loop is separated from the rest of the code using indentation. Let's see an example of this. Let's define a list named countries which contain 5 elements where the elements are India, China, Japan, Sri Lanka, Bhutan. We want to print these elements without writing a separate print statement for each element. Therefore, we will use for loop. Let's write for x in countries, colon, indent, print x, unindent, and let's run the code. So you can see that each element has been printed without writing separate print statements. Now let's include a condition in the body of this for loop. Suppose we do not want to print China, we can write if x is not equal to China, colon, and then indent print x as body of this if statement. When you run this code, you can see that the China is not printed. Alternatively, you can also use the continue statement by changing the logic little bit. The continue statement is a control statement just like break is. The continue statement is used to skip the rest of the code inside a loop for the current iteration only. Loop does not terminate but continues on with the next iteration. You can also use the break statement to break the printing once a certain condition is matched. Now let's print a series of number using for loop. Suppose we want to print value from 0 to 8. We can use the range function. We'll write for x in range within brackets 9 colon print x in the next line by adding indent. If you run this code, it will return value from 0 to 8 as 9 is excluded from the sequence being the upper limit of range function. The range function defaults to 0 as a starting value. However, it is possible to specify the starting value by adding a parameter. Like instead of range 9, if we write range 2, 9, then this will return values from 2 to 8 excluding 9 from the sequence. Similarly, the range function defaults to increment the sequence by 1. However, it is also possible to specify the increment value by adding a third parameter. Like if we write range 2, 9, 3, it will return 2, 5, 8 excluding 9. As you can see, the increment of 3 in each number printed in the sequence. If you see in the third example, there are 3 parameters used within range function, where first parameter is the initial number to start with. Second parameter is the limit up to which the sequence will run. And the third parameter is update interval by which the sequence is incremented or decremented. So that's all for this session, and I hope you have understood the concept explained throughout this session. For any query, feel free to get in touch with us. See you in the next session. Thank you.